my irrigation system is based on this Loctite method, where you have the tubing. This is 1/2-inch tubing, and then you have the T right here. So basically it was just two pieces that are connected, and what you do is you loosen it like this, and then that makes it a lot easier to pull the hose out. I don't know if I can do it with one hand because it gets really cramped in there, but basically when you put the hose back on, you just spin it back on and it creates a tight lock so that water can't escape. So that's how there's different fittings you can use, but I like using this one. So I was going to show you the kit that I was talking about. Here it is. I'll just show you right here. The last video I recorded got recorded upside down, so I'm not sure how that happened, but whatever. So this is, I believe this is a pressure regulator. Hose vacuum brake. Okay, maybe. Basically what happens is when water comes out of the spigot and it goes out into your garden, when you turn it off, it creates a reverse vacuum, and anything that was in the hose goes backwards and back up into potentially into your water system in the house. Okay, so this right here, I've got my spigot right here, okay, and then I've got a split, brass split right there. I've got a hose attached to one end, and then I've got this irrigation timer on the other. Irrigation timer has two fittings right here. This one has the kit on it for the water system, and then the other one right now is empty. I could put another kit on there, or I can just leave it blank, you know, empty. Right now it's TBD what it is right now. So we've got this vacuum breaker, okay, and you've got the filter, okay, that filters the water, and there's like a little filter insert in here. I've never paid much attention to it. You have the pressure regulator, okay, and this is so it just maintains up to 25 psi, okay. We'll come through here and we'll go into this tube. If you don't have this, the force of the water is too strong and it blows it off, and it just doesn't work. I tried to not use it, and it doesn't work. Okay, so from Drip Depot you can get this piece, and this piece, and this piece. Okay, this connects to the pressure regulator, and this connects to your hose. So these four things for about 30 bucks, I think. And in my opinion, that's the best way to go if you're going to do irrigation and you're going to use Drip Depot. Okay, let me show you the stations I've got, or at least one of them. So that was one that goes to the far garden. This one here is here I've got my brass splitter right there. Okay, this one's got a hose on it, and this one's also empty. I may add another one of these and run it to the front, but right now I don't have too much growing up there, so I may eventually do it, I may not, TBD. Okay, so we've got this water here, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn it on so you can see the output of the water that comes out. It's gonna be different for everybody. On Drip Depot on the website, they show if you take your spigot, you open it up full, and you fill up a 2-gallon bucket in a minute, then you can do the math formula to figure out how many gallons per minute the spigot's pushing out. Okay, so that will help you determine how many little outlets, we'll say, you can have in your tubing to water your garden. Okay, so right here I've got my start time for this station is 5 o'clock, 5 in the morning. Right now it goes for 17 minutes, and I've got that set for every day. Okay, so for me, that's what I need, and I'll explain why I have that later on. Okay, for, you know, I'm gonna do a manual, and then this is station 1 right here, so I'm just gonna do like, hopefully I can get over there in 8 minutes. Okay, and then it just goes. You'll hear the water click on in a second. There it goes. So the water's coming out now, and it's going through here. And so we've got this 1/2 inch poly tubing, and my first spot that I plugged up right here is a little 90, okay? And then I put my 1/4 inch poly tubing, and it goes inside here, goes inside under this case, and then it's down there, and then it comes up, and it's right here, okay? And so this is a compensating dripper, okay? So the speed, the amount of water that comes out of here is basically taking into account all of the other drippers that are being used on this line right now, and they're all getting about the same amount of water. Okay, now if I hold this up, you can see that's a pretty good clip of moisture coming out. Okay, so that's gonna run for like 8 minutes now, but 17 minutes in the morning. So there's probably a good bit of water coming out. Okay, that's okay. I'm not worried about overwatering. It's just going to drain out, okay, or you know, fill up the soil. This gets pretty good amount of sun, so you know it's getting hot. All right, so from this line I've got here, and then it branches off, and this line goes over and it waters my generous gardener. Okay, it's growing up the panel, my generous gardener, my one of those lamb's ears, and then these hypoestes things. Okay, now you see this one, you can see how much water is coming out of there. Okay, one reason, or sometimes I think that if there's more water coming out in one place than another, the outlets that are further downhill are gonna have the most pressure, and it's just common sense. Okay, that's gravity and potential energy. If we back up, back to our T. Okay, so I've got the tight lock of the T right there. So now I'm gonna take this other line, and it goes over to the pocket garden right here. Okay, so it's this garden right here, and I've got just the odd assortment. I've got this coral honeysuckle growing on this obelisk. Here's a little sprayer. I don't feel like these sprayers work as well as they could. This one's doing pretty good, so I'm just gonna leave it. It's not a compensating sprayer, but for right now it works. But if you look over here, this one doesn't have any pressure at all coming out of it, so maybe I should change it. Okay, maybe I probably will. Okay, here's another one. This one is a drip emitter that I got from Home Depot, and the reason I don't have all of them the same is because I just ran out. I prefer to use the ones from Drip Depot, and I'll probably eventually make those changes, but I have to make another order. So as of right now, in this bed and in all the beds, I've got them pretty much spaced out. Okay, I've got these, they're 3 to 5 inches away from the base of the plant, of the rose. That's so the roots will go to the water, they'll grow to it. And that's true for most of the roses, not all of them. Some of them I just plugged them in because I wanted to get it going. Others, I tried to be more intentional with that. So you'll see it on some, you won't see it on others. Up here is a really nice cluster of Almond roses. This Almond rose is 2 years old, or it's in its 2nd year rather. And it's just really pretty display. Flowers right there. Behind it is those are the Walmart dahlias I got, also 2nd year. Okay, so this has a hose going all the way down it, one side, and then back down this other side. And see, like right here, I've got the drip emitter is going, and this is here for the boxwood right here, and also for this other hypoestis right here. Okay, and that one back there isn't getting any water. I probably need to add another plug, but like I said, I'm out of my drip emitters. I need to make an order. Okay, so my frost lemon is right there. My Livia Rose Austin's getting water here. This line comes up and it dead ends right there, so I got a cap on it. Okay, these other lines, they go underneath the deck to the garden on the other side. Now I've got a 1/2-inch poly that wraps around, and it goes back behind, and it makes a big loop. Okay, makes a loop, and then here is, I split the difference, and this came through, and I've got a few drip emitters kind of zigzag back and forth on these different plants. Okay, so right now from this spigot, I've got these 2 plants here, the generous gardener and this pocket garden here. Okay, somewhere back there I connected the poly here, and I made a right. I did a 90, and it runs all the way down the length of the garage to the other side garden. Okay, and I got a little plug for this plumeria. Okay, and this mint's right here. I've connected it here to this drip emitter hose. I wanted to try that. I kind of wish I hadn't. It isn't as effective as I hoped it would be. Okay, what I ended up doing was plugging in some emitters of my own to make sure that the Abraham Darby's get enough water. Okay, because the little drip from the brown tube was not adequate in my opinion. Okay, so that will go all the way across, and then I have another one. You can see, you can see right here, I wound that 1/4-inch drip emitter tubing through, and then I made a 90 right there, and there's a T. Okay, and that runs through this row of, I don't know what's in here, Scarborough Fair and Elizabeth and some salvia. Okay, and then it came down a little bit more and I made another one. And so this one feeds more Scarborough Fair, more Elizabeth, my Calamondin, my Lantana. Okay, and you'll see, like on this Scarborough Fair, it's dripping right next to the base. Okay, and the reason it's right there is because I want to make sure the water gets to it. It's on a pretty significant slope, and the water's, honestly, the water could be up a little bit higher, so it drips down and then it gets it, but you know, planning, I didn't do it. Didn't happen. Okay, so next we've got the 90 taking it back up, and I've got water that's going to my my citrus right here, and then this goes all the way up and then makes another T at the top, and then runs back down on this side to give those plants irrigation. And then also there's a Peggy Martin on the other side that gets watered as well. Okay, so those are the lines. Now I've got one more garden, one more section of this. Okay, so we follow it, and it feeds this bed right here. Now right now I only have 3 estate roses from Grace, and I also have this Dutch rose that I also got from Grace. So it's getting water here also. Okay, so you can see the difference of how much it's coming out versus up at the top closer to the source. Okay, so this is just kind of dripping, and you know, that's why I've got it on 17 minutes. Okay, also this is a large space. Okay, I mean, let me take a step back and so you can see how big this really is. And I've got one spigot running, watering all of this, and the pocket garden and the few that are on the side, plus these roses over here. Okay, now my intent was to make another bed right here, but I think I'm just going to prepare it this summer and then maybe actually make the bed for next spring. And I will probably make this garden, this one here and this one here, its own separate, like its own separate station. So probably like right here and then up there. That will all be one station. And then probably the pocket garden will be another station. Okay, so to get an idea here, what kind of, you know, it's just a slow drip. Okay, so 17 minutes. All right, and as you get into July, it's probably gonna go up to 18 minutes. Okay, this is Eve's Piaget. I got from Grace also. It came later than the others, and I don't know, it's just kind of struggling. So we'll see. This is Francis. It looks good. State of Grace just finished with like 10 blooms on it, and then all dressed up, and I've got a volunteer tomato over here. But yeah, that's it. And so I capped off here. I could theoretically run this over, connect it, but I don't really have a need for that. There's not anything in between here that needs water. I could have spent a lot more time planning things, but I didn't. It was in the school year and I just kind of threw it together. I've got other plants down here. That's a crepe myrtle. I got crepe myrtles down here. This one's actually beautiful. It's blooming, and it doesn't get any irrigation. It just gets water whenever God wills it. So it looks good. And then I wanted to at some point even extend garden down here. So I've got all this space that gets nice full sun. And these crepe myrtles. But I had a hard time with irrigation. I'd have to run another spigot to come out here. And it just takes more time than I have right now. A lot of planning. But from here you can see the rest of the garden, and there's probably some glare, but section 2 is the first half and section 1 is the other half, because those come from different spigots. Okay, but I could make another video for that, but it would probably take an hour or more. Okay, so it looks, I think the water shut off because it's not dripping anymore. But Laguna never bloomed. Real red grapefruit. Got a couple of them on there. Abraham Darby's up there, and they're just going crazy. Loving life. Lots of buds. This will be its second flush. Got the stuff on the structure. It's doing pretty good. Need to finish painting it. I'm not sure why I attached it without painting it, but you know. So all this side with more blooms. This got pruned a week to 2 weeks ahead of this side. So kind of bad timing. I probably should have just pruned it all at once. But anyway. All right, if you have any questions about the irrigation, let me know. And we can talk about it in the group chat. Thanks for watching. Saw a bee. Thought I saw a big bumblebee.